So maybe you're in your last year of high school, or maybe you're just in that point of your life where you want to go switch your careers and you're thinking about taking on engineering, but you really just don't know if it's right for you. I mean, dedicating the next 4 to 5 years is actually a huge ask. Well, if this is you, I'm in my 5th year of mechanical engineering and I've come up with some key indicators of whether or not engineering may or may not be right for you, and what types of students and people are really able to get through the entire engineering degree. If you don't know me, by the way, my name is Emmanuel. I'm a 5th year mechanical engineering student at the University of Alberta, and really I made this channel to help create the next generation of engineering students and really make engineering more casual and a little bit more fun and help you guys throughout the entire journey. So let's get into some of these key indicators. Let's go. So first, I want to mention this. The best engineering students that I know are really able to take information and explain it in their own words and are able to teach it even to other engineering students or just whoever is around them. Those types of engineering students are really the ones that are really able to nail down on whatever concepts come their way so much more easily, which comes into my first key indicator, which is that you have an innate drive to learn and you are obsessed with learning and with teaching as well. So if you found that throughout your life, you have that innate drive to learn and you don't just learn just because someone put an assignment in front of you or someone gave you this thing to study and you're just doing it for an exam. If you're learning beyond that and you actually like learning for what learning actually is, then you probably will succeed in engineering. That is my first key indicator of success. But my next key indicator really goes above and beyond just how smart you actually are. And to get into this, first I have to acknowledge that engineering is hard. It challenges literally the best and brightest students from all around the globe. It has to be hard. And in order to persevere throughout all of these challenges that you'll face throughout your engineering degree, you'll have to have something more, which is your strong will and drive to get through it. And that is really fueled by your passion of engineering. So my next real key indicator is that you have that drive to keep going based on your passion for engineering. Yes, it's true, some students are able to get through purely based on the drive of having that good salary after your engineering degree. But just like anything else in life, you should really try to enjoy the journey and not just focus on the end goal. It's really the passion of engineering that actually makes the best engineers at the end of the day, because you actually enjoy the things that you are learning and you're not just doing it just for the money. But there's a lot of misconceptions about what you should actually be good at and your types of intelligence before joining engineering, which goes into my next point. There's actually another type of intelligence that can help you get through your entire engineering degree beyond just the maths, the science, the physics, the chemistry, the intelligence that is associated with those courses. And the type of intelligence that I'm hinting at is actually social intelligence and being able to work with and communicate with others really well, which is my next key indicator of being a great engineering student, that you are a great team player and communicator. Engineering is very much not an individual sport. It takes a ton of communication with others, a lot of teamwork with people that you know. Literally having that social intelligence to work with others is what can help drive you even higher, especially in the context that we were talking about earlier of being able to relay information in another way to someone else. And that can help to facilitate not only their learning, but your learning as well. And it's really through this social intelligence that you'll really be able to nail that down. But now it's time to talk about one of the biggest misconceptions about engineering, and that comes into my next point. The biggest misconception about engineering is that you have to be good at math, chemistry, physics, and science in order to get in and persevere throughout your entire engineering degree. That is not entirely true. Yes, being good at those subjects very much can help you and will help you naturally in becoming a good engineering student. Those subjects alone, added up together, really does not represent engineering in a great way. Now, I'll admit that this is something that a lot of students fall into, believing that engineering is literally just a combination of those 4 subjects. And even myself, I was a victim of this as well. I thought from high school that engineering would literally just be these 4 subjects combined. I was so wrong. Instead, engineering is more, how do I use these subjects, math, science, physics, chemistry, to actually apply it to the real world to solve problems? That is literally what engineering is. How can I use these subjects to maybe transport me from A to B. Maybe I'll engineer a car. That is what engineering really gets at. Which is my next key indicator, which is that you enjoy applying that scientific and mathematical knowledge just as much as learning it. Some people say if you're good at taking things apart and putting them back together, then you are probably naturally an engineer. But if you're able to take it to just a little bit more deeper level and disassemble it, look at the components and see how the components interact with each other in a scientific and mathematical way, then that is really what makes a great engineer. But now it's time to talk about one of the most important, if not the most important skill that you need to have as an engineering student. And this skill is that you need to have great critical and great analytical thinking skills. Engineering is literally an exercise of critical and analytical thinking. That is literally what engineering is. So if you already have that foundation, then great. You're probably gonna do really well and you'll be able to absorb concepts really well and interpret these concepts in a way beyond just your lecture notes. Not only will you just be successful throughout your engineering degree, but you'll also be successful in any career that you take on. That is why the engineering degree alone is so valuable, because of those soft skills that you develop. Okay, but if you actually want to be a great engineering student, you have to keep in mind this very last point, which is the most important point and my most favorite point on how to be a successful engineering student. And that's in understanding the main theme that I'm trying to get at throughout this entire video. That engineering, being a great engineering student, has to be more than just the textbooks, the assignments, the quizzes, the midterms, the finals. It has to be more than that. And that goes into my next key indicator, which is that you love to go into extracurricular activities and going above and beyond just school. If this sounds like you, that you have that willingness to go out and do more, even if you're super buried in a ton of work, then engineering is for you. Honestly, this point alone might be the biggest indicator of whether or not you will be successful throughout your engineering degree. Yes, GPA is important, but at the end of the day, experience is becoming more and more valuable by the second. And getting that experience by going into engineering clubs or just going through anything extracurricular where you have to work with others, interact with others, that is the kind of things that employers are actively looking for, because you have that one skill that you can't really teach at school, and that is being a great team player. That is something that you really cannot teach at school. It is something that you build up yourself. So if you're willing to do those extracurriculars like those clubs, or if you're willing to go into something like the co-op program where you actually work while you're going throughout your engineering degree, then yes, engineering is going to be great for you, because you're going to be able to take in your analytical and critical thinking. You're going to be able to take that and take your social intelligence and take that and put them together and create such a successful engineer. That is one of the biggest lessons that I've learned throughout my entire engineering degree. And I'm mentioning this because even if you aren't the brightest person in the entire class, maybe you don't have the highest GPA, as long as you have that passion for engineering, as long as you want to solve problems, as long as you love science, chemistry, physics, and how that's applied, if you enjoy those kinds of things and you have that passion for engineering, I truly believe no matter what, you'll be able to get through your entire engineering degree based on that passion alone. So please do not be discouraged because you have low grades or something like that. Be encouraged if you have that passion, and just keep persevering, because you deserve to be in engineering. This is getting a little bit deep, but this is literally hinting at your reason as to why you're going throughout your engineering degree. Why are you becoming an engineer at the first place? That is what is going to be able to get you through your degree. So I really hope that I really hit that point, that it's not what you know going into engineering that will be an indicator of whether you'll be good going through your engineering degree, but it's really the type of person, the type of personality that you have, and if it's well equipped enough to get through the entire engineering degree. There's an entire span, an entire spectrum of people that actually get into engineering. At one end of the spectrum, you have those people that have really high grades, but maybe they don't have that many social skills, that social intelligence. And at the other end of the spectrum, you have those people that are really good communicators, really good team players, really good leaders, but maybe don't have the strongest GPAs. And these types of students, throughout this entire span, this entire spectrum, is all of the engineering students. It really is not just one defined type of personality. And from this entire spectrum, the real overlap between all of these types of people is that they have that critical thinking and analytical thinking skills. So if this sounds like you, then yes, engineering is probably best for you, keeping in mind of those passions that you have and your reason why you're joining engineering. So now you may be thinking, oh my gosh, I have so many specific questions that I want to have answered and I have no idea who to ask. Well, I am now actually offering one-on-one coaching sessions for engineering students or high school students, people that want to get into engineering, to help those people really become the next generation of engineers. That is really my whole entire goal with this channel and with anything that I really do. I hope to see you there. Take control of your engineering degree and become successful throughout engineering. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one.